Okay, hackers, welcome back to The Commit. So this week we're talking about resumes, right, Neil?
Yeah, so we've actually been reviewing a lot of resumes for people using DevPost jobs, and we've noticed a couple common things that have come up. So we thought we'd give you our list of resume tips. So before you go invest in a costly resume writing service, take a look at these and see if you can improve your resume a little bit.
Right, because it's definitely a critical part of the application package that you're submitting, right?
Right. I mean, you got your resume, potentially a cover letter, maybe even some links to portfolio items. You want them all to express you the best that you can. So might as well start with the resume because it's the most universal of all those pieces.
So the thing that I think a lot of people struggle with is like condensing a resume. Like how long should my resume be?
1 page maximum. If your resume is longer than a page, hopefully you've had a lot of experience. Maybe you're at a mid or senior level in your career, but until then, 1 page maximum. So one way to do that is to edit and customize your resume depending on who it's for. So based on the job that you're applying to, you can think of, well, is this internship that I did 5 years ago relevant to this job as a senior engineer?
Are all of my jobs relevant, Neil?
No, absolutely not. If you worked at Starbucks in college and you're applying to be a lead software developer somewhere, that is no longer relevant. That should not be on your resume anymore. It's just taking up space and it's preventing you from having enough room to talk about what you've done and sort of show your growth. Something that's important for every resume that you put out there is you want to show this progression of responsibilities, skills, and learning. So you want to see that you've grown, that you haven't just been doing the same thing over and over again.
There was like a big trend, right, in resumes for a while to put the objective, right? Like seeking, blah, 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 blah. Is that a good thing? Should we do that?
No, I think you can get rid of the objective. If you're applying for a job in software development, the objective of I'm applying for a job in software development is kind of not relevant. But I do think that there's a trend of people adding a summary to their resume, which is kind of like, I wouldn't call it a mini cover letter, but it does help point what you're doing or what you're interested in, and then point people straight down your resume and say, oh, this is someone who's a machine learning expert who's interested in X. Like that's valuable to me. That helps me contextualize the rest of your resume. And if I do lose your cover letter, it's okay because I've got a little bit more information about you and it helps me remember that. Also, if you're a career changer and maybe your existing experience doesn't completely match up with the role you're trying to apply to, the summary can be helpful because you can say, oh, hey, I am a marketer who's looking to break into product management or into software development. And that'll really help people understand sort of why that is, like why your experience changes a little bit. Probably the number one problem that I see, you've got 3 or 4 bullets for each job, and I don't think you need to go more than that. But for each of those bullets, it's really important, instead of just saying, I worked with JavaScript, or I had this skill, or this is something I worked on. Say what it is you worked on. Make it action and result. Say what it is I worked on and what it is you accomplished. Maybe you did a cost savings project using JavaScript and you saved $300,000 in engineering time. Say you accomplished that. People want to see results, not just that you have a skill, but that you applied it and did something with it.
What about references? Should I list contact information with my references?
Nope. Your references is the thing that comes later. This document is about you. It is not about other people.
Okay. What about like some awards that I got in high school?
Sure.
What about my hackathon projects, actually?
Okay, if you're light on experience, if you're light on, say maybe you're a new grad and you've maybe had a couple internships and you've done a little bit of work there, but you have more hackathon projects, if you're applying for a job in software development, that's great. Treat them like a job and mention them as projects that you've worked on. Maybe 3 or 4 bullets each, but explain what it is you did. Don't just say, I learned JavaScript or I won an award. That's impressive, but it doesn't tell me what that project was or did. Not everybody is familiar with hackathons, but you can still explain why it's valuable experience on your resume.
What about my contact info? Do I need my home address? Do I need all those details on there?
Your home address? No. I think it's weird that people put their home address on resumes. If you put your city and your state, maybe your telephone number, as well as any sort of the important links that you want people to check out, your LinkedIn, your GitHub, maybe something else, that's all you need. Put it in one line, link those links so that people can click on them in the PDF, but don't go out and give people your full home address unless they expressly ask for it. It's putting too much personal information out there, and I don't think it really helps anyone. If you're gonna include a link to your GitHub, or you just wanna put your username, or you're gonna put, here's my LinkedIn username, sure, go ahead, do that.
So one question, obviously, like we're recording this in New York and I'm British. Should I put my immigration status?
If you have a clearance, or if it's very clear that you want people to know what your immigration status is, I would say go ahead and include that. If it's something you know is going to be a problem later, then get it out there up front. And if you do have a security clearance, absolutely include it. People want to know that up front because it makes you extremely more hireable. It's one less thing they have to worry about later.
Right, so if you already have top secret clearance and you're applying for like a company like Palantir or something like that, where a lot of clearances are useful.
Yeah, although I will say if you do have a clearance, and this is something that not everyone knows to do, include how much time you have left on your clearance or when you got it. Because if it's going to expire in a year, that's less valuable than if you have maybe 3 years left on your clearance.
What should I do about kind of gaps in my employment history?
Sure, so if it's a gap during college, I wouldn't worry about it. You're a full-time student, you're not necessarily expected to have a lot of full-time experience then. If you do have a couple of years of downtime where you're unemployed, or maybe a couple months, I think it's okay. That's the type of thing that maybe you explain in your cover letter.
I think follow Neil's tips, see some better resumes, see some better action, better response rates, all that good stuff. Hopefully find you a great job.